Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chris, aka Barnum11970, and I'm making one more video today because this is actually some good news for once. And I thought we would end the day on a high note. The Monsanto Protection Act has actually expired, and we have the American citizens who cared enough to be aware of the situation to actually put a stop to it and not allow it to happen. Now, I'm going to read a little bit of this article. I will post the link, and some people will say, oh, well, you just randomly picked the first thing you saw when you Googled it. Well, the reason I posted the link, and it's the reason the first one happens to be the one I chose, is because it actually shows an ABC clip that actually confirms what it says. So it's not just an article from some random person that just made up a story. It's actually confirmed. But let me read a little bit about this article. First of all, if you don't know about the Monsanto Protection Act, basically what they wanted to do is protect companies that's made and sold genetically modified seeds from lawsuits, even if they were found out later on to be guilty of even intentionally causing harm or lying. Now, I'm not saying they're doing that or they have done it, but what I'm saying is even if tomorrow we found out that Monsanto was purposely putting poisonous chemicals in their seeds to purposely kill people, and we found proof for it, under this Monsanto Protection Act, they would not be allowed to be sued and they wouldn't be held responsible. So let me ask you right off the bat, I lost my train of thought, the people who consider everything a conspiracy theory, do you really think that's the government saying this is the best interest for the people? Or do you think that's to protect a large corporation that could make them lots of money due to contributions? Well, let's read this article. The so-called Monsanto Protection Act is set to expire. Now, this article was done in September. It actually did expire. So I'm reading this because it still gives information. Is set to expire and will not be included in a bill designed to avert a government shutdown, which, as you can see, has already happened. According to a statement Tuesday from the press office of Senator Jeff Merkley, a Democrat from Oregon. Now, this is where I'm going to show the hypocrisy between the Democrats and the Republicans and how they actually do work together, not for us. They fight on camera because it looks good, it feels good, it sounds good, and they put on a good show. But look what the House for the Republicans tried to pass. Now, you see right now the reason that the government shut down, and they're trying to blame it on the Republicans, saying, we're trying to help the people from this evil Obamacare. Well, look what the Republicans were willing to do that you probably didn't know about. House Republicans earlier this month, September, released legislation that would include an extension of the Monsanto measure in their continuing resolution. In other words, they were saying, we oppose Obamacare because it hurts people, but we're going to allow a law to be passed and continued extension that protects a corporation from lawsuits, even if they're found guilty of something. Does that sound like a government working for the people? I'm not going to read any more. You could read the rest of it, but basically this is good news because people actually did not fall into the trap of the people saying, oh, everything's a conspiracy and you shouldn't touch it and governments don't try and hurt you and they would never do anything wrong. Well, we find out time and time again this is not the case. The governments are looking out for their best interests. In other words, what kind of money can they get from doing whatever they're doing? And if it hurts the American people, so be it. What do they care? Because if you get sick off of the genetically modified foods, well, guess what? They have a health plan and medicines that they can give you that they don't give you for free. So if they really cared about you, why are they making so much money off of you? To do nothing but make you sick. If you want to believe in the government that way, that's fine. And I'll be the first person to admit that not everything is a conspiracy as far as the way the mainstream media talks about it. I mean, basically, the word conspiracy means two people conspiring. So if me and my wife decide to go get pizza, we've now conspired. But like I said, I'll be the first person to admit not every situation that happens automatically means it's a conspiracy, that there's some secret government situation. But on that note, not every conspiracy is not true. In other words, not everything that's supposedly a conspiracy theory is automatically wrong. There are people on the other side of the spectrum, and I know Like the one thing that people say that make fun of the people who try and talk about truth or what they perceive may be truth, say, well, not everything is a conspiracy. Not everything is a government trying to get the people. I agree with that. But on the same token, you can't go to the other extreme and say everything just happens to be coincidence. It just doesn't work that way. There's middle ground. So I'll be the first to admit that. And you'll see the people that always say, oh, everything's a conspiracy, that's such BS. They'll always say everything is the way it is. So if you want to believe, for example, like I said with 9/11, that 2 planes took down 3 buildings, 1, 2, 3, you have the right to do that. If you want to believe that the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act, doesn't kill American citizens, even though it's been proven time and time again in the House and Senate, and Republicans, House and Senate, and the Democrats have actually mentioned these things. That's fine if you want to believe Operation Fast and Furious didn't happen, if you want to think Operation Northwoods didn't happen, if you want to think of time and time again of situations, if they're just coincidences, you have that right. But this, at least, is for once, is good news. I'll be the first to admit I was not one of the people who protested it. I didn't even know there was a protest, so I'm not going to sit here and say I was one of the people that helped, as unfortunately I didn't know about it, so I wasn't part of it. But my thumbs up for the people who actually did make a stand and actually created a change. But like they do with SOPA and CISPA and all these other laws, they'll sneak them into other bills, they'll attach them to other bills. The mainstream media won't talk about it. It'll keep it silent, so keep people in their ignorance and their naivety, and it eventually will get passed unless we keep diligent and keep talking about this stuff. This shouldn't be about liking somebody's opinion or liking somebody's point of view. It's respecting it and learning from it and saving one another. Because if you think what you're doing to demolish other people who are trying to speak truth is helpful, you're kidding yourself. It's usually just an agenda because you don't happen to like a specific person. Me, if I don't like somebody, like, for example, there are many people on YouTube who have videos and channels that I don't agree with and don't like. I don't sit there all day chastising them, thumbing down all their videos and going to everyone to tell them how much I don't like them. I just don't waste my time watching them. If we had more people that actually paid more attention to helping people than spending time trying to discredit people and hurt people, this world would be a much better place. So like I said, I'm going to post that link. You could check it if you want. You could not check it if you don't want. That's up to you. I'm just here to point things out that you may not have been aware of. But to me, this is actually some good news. The people stood up and said no. So it shows that if you try and make an effort and enough people help you, you can get things done. So people can make a difference. One person can't, many people can. Thanks for watching.